Hey folks, Dan Bidondi, TruthRadioShow.com. Just got a couple questions here about what we call astronomy. This, for example, now to mind you, I was a high school whiz in astronomy. I even helped the teachers write the exams and actually corrected teachers on their astronomy information, and they rewrote the exams because of that. So I've been completely indoctrinated with astronomy, and basically I know my stuff very well. But what I've always questioned, and many of you might have questioned this, but didn't really want to go further because, hey, the experts know all the answers, right? Well, the experts like NASA and all these scientists know the answers to everything, supposedly. So this is what we get taught. This is the Milky Way galaxy. This is what we're told. That it takes 226 million years for our sun to rotate around the center of the Milky Way. This is what the Milky Way looks like. So I just got two questions about that. And, you know, astronomy is pretty cool, and it's an awesome portion of science, because there's many different sciences, but astronomy is always my favorite. So I was questioning, okay, all right, number one, have we ever had a spacecraft or a probe to even go outside the Milky Way? Well, they say, well, this looks like the Milky Way, they assume looks like this because the neighboring galaxy called Andromeda. So they assume we look like Andromeda. Now I want to show you here, when you look at galaxies, there's countless thousands of galaxies we've seen with telescopes and everything, all have its unique fingerprint, if you will. Just like every human being has some similarities, but have its own unique way. I mean, no galaxy is the same. You look at thousands and thousands of galaxies, they probably have millions now of pictures, and you'll never find two of the same. So they're assuming we look like Andromeda because Andromedas are so-called the closest neighboring galaxy. So my two questions here today is, how do we know this is the Milky Way galaxy, what it looks like? It could be a square, it could be a triangle, it could even be oval. We don't know. So they're assuming. This ain't science, because science is something you could observe, or science is something that you could demonstrate in a lab. And you can't demonstrate this in the lab, and you definitely can't observe it. Even though we live in the Milky Way, but we can't observe what it looks like and how far we are away from the center. And if you don't know what the Milky Way galaxy looks like, how are you going to know where the center is? So this is becoming, instead of science, this is becoming more like superstition, more like a false religion, if you will, because we don't know. Why can't NASA and the so-called experts say, we don't know because we don't have the data to even know what the Milky Way looks like? Then they go along to say, oh, we're about 2,600 to 2,800 light years from the center of the Milky Way galaxy, our sun is. How do you know that? You don't know what the Milky Way looks like. People say, well, the experts say this, and so we can't challenge the experts because they're experts. You know, because, universities deem them as experts, so we can't challenge it. That's what science is, to challenge things, to ask questions. So we're not allowed to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? And because I know that we get a lot of criticism in this, so we're not allowed to ask questions about this because NASA says so. Because NASA themselves don't know. You don't know what something looks like if you haven't been out far enough. Let me give you an example here. Just say, now this is the design of a house. This is what the house looks like, and here's the design. And now I know why Jesus in the Bible talked in parables so people could understand them. And this is, I'm using this for example. I'm paraphrasing what I'm trying to explain here so people can completely understand what I'm talking about. Just say, okay, you and your brother, sister, whatever, you guys were born in this room here. You were born in this room. The only thing you've ever seen in your life is outside this. You can see that bedroom, but you can never see what the house looks like and nothing. So you never even had a TV, you never had nothing. You don't even have communications with anybody outside this room your entire life. I'm just using this for example. So you've been stuck in this room your whole life, and all you have is a door to see this, your neighbor and bedroom. So how are you going to know what your house looks like, how big it is, and how are you going to know how far you are away from the front door when you've never even seen the front door? This is what I'm trying to explain to you. So unless you have, like, you've been outside your house, across the street, or even outside, you say, oh, wow, this is what my house looks like. There's the design, there's the colors and everything else. You'll never know, if you've been in that room your entire life, never left it, okay? You got no communication on the outside, nothing. You'll never know what the hell your house looks like. So, that being said, the same example applies here. You got galaxies, I mean, you can scroll through them. They all look different, and they have its own unique features, everything. So, that being said, there's the Milky Way galaxy. We've never even had a probe that's going far enough across the street, if you will, to say, all right, I'm going to take a picture, I'm going to observe what our galaxy looks like. You can't observe it because nobody's or nothing's ever been far enough or outside the galaxy to even know where the center is and what it looks like. So again, we're assuming a theory that we look like Andromeda because it's our neighboring galaxy, when again, millions of galaxies all have its unique features, but they're assuming we look like Andromeda. And the other question is too, it takes 226 million years to rotate around the galaxy. Well, here's the question about that. Has mankind been around for 226 million years to even observe this? This ain't science. You can't observe this, and you definitely can't demonstrate this in the lab. This is a theory. It's not science. It's not even a fact, because mankind hasn't even been around for a million years, let alone 226 million years, and all the time they keep changing the date to, the information as, information updates, and like the beginning of the universe, 9 million years, and it goes to 120 million and so on, and, they don't know. That's the thing. Why can't you sound more intelligent and say, hey, we don't know, we don't have the information to know what the galaxy looks like, let alone how far away from the center of it. That would sound more intelligent than trying to make stuff up and make numbers up. I mean, where did they come up on 226 million years to circle? We don't even know where the center of the galaxy is. And I know the experts were not allowed to question them. Well, I'm questioning them. I was a wicked genius, little legit genius in astronomy when I was a kid. And I was a definitely A+ student all the time when it comes to astronomy and everything, most science. And even back then, I was questioning these things. That's what science is, to question things, okay? Observe things, try to test things. So you can't test this, you can't definitely observe it. Now, if we had a space probe that's going outside the galaxy far enough so it could take a whole picture of what the whole galaxy looks like, then there would be no questions about it. But you can't estimate, you can't guess, then teach it in schools as if it's some kind of a fact. It's not a fact, it's a theory, and theory is not science. It's just maybe an educated guess, yes, but it is not science, and it's definitely not a fact. So if they're lying to us and just making stuff up, I mean, look at these numbers. How do you know that? We don't know 220, and we could observe every day. We could observe the information every day. We know by observing that it takes 365 days for the sun, for us to rotate around the sun. And it takes 24 hours for the Earth to rotate completely. We know this because we can see it, we observe it. But you can't observe this because we've never even been far enough to even see what the galaxy looks like. Again, this galaxy could look like a pear shape, it could look like a square, triangle. We don't know what the galaxy looks like. And if you look at galaxies, you'll see thousands of them. Every one of them has this, some are similar, yeah, but every one of them has its own unique fingerprint, if you will. So again, there's nothing wrong with questioning things, folks, even though the so-called experts come up with this data. Where they come up with this, I have no idea. Some more intelligent say, hey, we don't know, we don't have the data yet. We haven't had a probe to even reach the outskirts of space to even see it. Anyway, folks, this is Dan Bidondi, TruthRadioShow.com. Remember, just keep asking questions, because if we just sit back and rely, all right, we're never going to challenge this, we're never going to challenge nothing, then we're never going to know nothing, because we're just going to sit back and rely on people who call themselves experts when all they do is throw odd numbers to make themselves sound somewhat intelligent when they really don't know. Dan Bidondi, God bless. TruthRadioShow.com. Hit me up at Twitter, at Dan Bidondi, and my radio show, TruthRadioShow.com.